Living Seed Media brings to you God's Word, which is His comprehensive equipment for changing lives. May the Lord impact your heart as you encounter His Word. For further inquiry or counsel, contact Peace House, P.O. Box 971, Boko, Benue State, Nigeria. Telephone numbers 0703 0363659, 0703 7681198. Email address lsmedia@livingseed.org, or visit our website at www.livingseed.org. Let us sit back and listen as the servant of God brings forth the word of life.
Four things that are part of Christ's mission on earth. Four things that are part of Christ's mission on earth. What He came to do. The first one, I think most of us are aware of it. Particularly that most of us have been exposed to the gospel. We would be aware of the first one, which is found in Matthew 1, verse 21. Matthew 1, verse 21, this is the dream that Joseph had as he was contemplating on putting aside Mary because he had discovered that she had become pregnant. You remember the story, isn't it? Mary had become pregnant, and Joseph didn't want to embarrass her, so he was planning to quietly and secretly put her aside. While he was contemplating on that, we are told that Joseph had a dream. You remember the dream, isn't it? And in the dream, verse 20, but after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. Now, verse 21 gives us a clue why Christ came to the earth, isn't it? He says, verse 21, for she will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. We know the scripture, isn't it? Why did Christ come to the earth? He came to the earth in order to save people from their sins. Plural, isn't it? You remember yesterday we referred to sins as the products of the producer. You remember we said so? So Christ came to the world in order to deal with the products of the sinful nature, which we call what? Sins. He came to save his people from their sins. And Paul, writing to his disciple Timothy, affirms this again in 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 15. 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 15, he says, this is a faithful saying, and it is worthy of all acceptation, that Jesus Christ came into the world to do what? To save sinners. He came to the world to save sinners, of which I was the greatest. So Christ came into the world to deal with the issue of sins. Sometimes we become very, very accommodating when it comes to sin. There was a time when people who are born again, people who are evangelicals, were not accommodating of sin. They were insisting that if you are a Christian, you have nothing to do with sin. There is nothing common between a Christian who is born again and what? And sins. Because Christ came to deal with the issue of sins, to separate people from sins, so that somewhere Paul says certain things should not even be mentioned amongst us as believers. You remember him saying that? That if you're a Christian, the issue of fornication, the issue of adultery, the issue of drunkenness, the issue of stealing, the issue of lying, and so forth, should be something that is foreign from you as a Christian, isn't it? But we are aware that in our days, people claim to be born again, and they are involved in all kinds of sinful behavior. A terrible contradiction, isn't it? Terrible contradiction. You are saved, but you are living in sin. And the question that you should be asking you, if you claim to be saved and you still live in sin, the question is, what have you been saved from then? Usindiswe nini? Is it possible for us to speak of someone who is drowning in water, and then we say this person has been saved from drowning, but the person is still inside water? Is that possible? So if you are saved from drowning, it means you have been separated from the water in which you were drowning, isn't it? If the water had come into your system, the water is pumped out, there's a separation from that which was harming you and you, isn't it? So salvation means you have been saved from sins. You have been totally separated from sins. You are daily living in victory over what? Over sins. So Christ came to save us from sins. If I were blunt, I should be asking you, have you been saved from sins? If I were to probe, I would ask you another question. Have you been saved from all sins? Or you have been saved from some sins? If you have imbibed poison, have you been saved from poison if part of the poison is out and another part is still in you? Have you been saved from poison? In order for you to be saved from poison, it means that all poison must be out of your system, isn't it? Have you been saved from all sins? Are you harboring some sins in your life and you claim to be a Christian? Have you been so skilled in justifying your sinful behavior to an extent that now you begin to grade sins? You speak of big sins, you speak of medium-sized sins, and you speak of small sins. Is there anything like a big snake and a medium-sized snake and a small snake? Does a small snake kill? Does it kill? So if you are saved, you must be saved from all sins. Who is the Savior? Jesus. What is Christ's mission on earth? To save sinners from what? From all their sins. It's a misnomer to call yourself a Christian and you still live in sin. It's a misnomer. This is the one thing that brings disgrace to the gospel. There is nothing that disgraces the gospel as people who claim to be saved, who claim to be born again, and yet they are still meddling in sin. This is what causes people who are not born again to say, we are the same. We lie, they also lie. We commit fornication, they also commit fornication. We steal, they also steal. There's no difference. Are they right when they say so? Yeah, they are right, isn't it? Christ came to the earth to save us from all sins. That's his mission. Then number two, his mission. His second mission was to come and deal with the producer of sins. He came to deal with that which produces sin. And yesterday it was called by many names. It was called the sinful nature. It was called Mr. Flesh, you remember? It is called self. It is called human nature. You remember? Christ came to the world to also save us. In fact, let me use the word. He came to destroy the sinful nature. He came to destroy the sinful nature. I'll read two scriptures for the sake of time. First, John chapter 3. 1 John chapter 3, verse 8. Let me begin from verse 5 to verse 10. Are you in 1 John chapter 3? Who has the King James Version? Can someone quickly read for us? Yes. From verse 5.
And you know that he was manifested to take away our sins.
Or he was manifested to take away our sins, plural, isn't it? The products. Okay? He was manifested to take them away. Okay?
And in him is no sin.
Okay?
Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not.
Or anyone then who abides in him does not sin. Huh? If you claim to abide in him and you also sin, there's a contradiction. Anyone who abides in him does not sin. Does not sin. If you are truly born again, you are not supposed to sin. Continue.
Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him,
Oh.
known him.
Or anyone who sins and claims to be born again, the Bible says he does not know him. He says he has not seen him, and he also does not know him. Regardless of what this person claims, the Bible is so blunt. It says, if you abide in him, you do not sin. If you do sin, one, you have not seen him. And two, you do not know him. Continue.
Little children, let no man deceive you.
Or it's a deception for you to call yourself born again and you live in sin. It's a deception. You are deceiving yourself. Little children, let no one deceive you. You must not think that you could live in sin and also claim to be born again. It's self-deception. In fact, if you live in sin, it means you are not what? You are not saved. Because the fruit you are producing, you shall know them by their fruit, isn't it? And the fruit you are producing is alien to Christianity, isn't it? You can't produce this kind of fruit and you claim to be born again and you claim to be a Christian, isn't it? So, little children, let no one deceive you. Continue.
He that doeth righteousness is righteous.
So, if you are born again, how do you live? You live a righteous life. Do you live a righteous life intermittently? Do you live a righteous life sometimes? And sometimes you don't live a righteous life? I'm asking you. What is the answer? You live a righteous life consistently. Consistently. You are not in and out. You are not inside righteousness and out of righteousness. You live a righteous life how? Consistently. That is the proof that you have been born again, isn't it? Huh? Repeat that verse again.
He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous.
Okay. Even as Christ is righteous. Continue.
He that committeth sin is of the devil.
Wow, the Bible is very blunt. He that commits sin is of the devil. Does that scripture make a qualification? Does it say, he who commits sin and sings in the choir is not of the devil? It's only one who commits sin and is outside of the church who is of the devil. He says, he that committed sin, whether he is a minister, or he is an archdeacon, or he sings in the choir, or he has a high position in the church, he that committed sin is of the devil. Why?
For the devil sinneth from the beginning.
Like father, like son. Like father, like son. There's a resemblance. We know who your father is. Why? You resemble him. He was a sinner from the beginning, and if you commit sin, you identify yourself as someone who belongs to the devil. Continue.
For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil.
Now that's the one verse now I wanted to emphasize. For this reason the Son of Man was manifested so as to destroy. You remember yesterday we were told the works of Mr. Flesh are obvious, isn't it? Which are these? Now the Son of Man came in order to destroy both the products and the producer. What is the mission of Christ on earth? It is not only to deal with sins, but it is also to deal with the producer of sin. He was manifested in order to destroy the works of the devil. Can I tell you, Mr. Flesh can be destroyed in your life. Did you hear me? Do you know there are many people who are giving a glowing testimony that Mr. Flesh was destroyed in their own lives? They are still walking on earth with their 2 feet. They are giving a glowing testimony that Christ did not only forgive me of my sins. What else did he do? He destroyed Mr. Flesh, the sinful nature. Christ's mission on earth was to deal with the producer of sins and also the products of Mr. Producer. Do you understand me? As long as what has happened to you is the forgiveness of sins, but that which produces sins has not been dealt with, you will never know victory in your life. You'll be living a hypocritical life. You'll be lying, you'll be arrogant, you'll be envious, you'll be jealous, you'll be lusting. all these things will be part of your life. You'll try to suppress them, but they are in you because the producer has not been dealt with. Is that clear? Let's read another scripture. Isaiah 53 verse 6. We are talking about the mission of Christ on earth. The mission of Christ on earth. What did he come to the earth to do? Isaiah 55 verse 6. 53, I'm sorry. 53 verse 6. Verse 5 says, for he was pierced for our transgressions. That's plural, isn't it? Which refers to the products of the sinful nature. He was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities, in plural, which is referring to the products of the sinful nature. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we have been healed. Verse 6, we all like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has turned to his own way, and the Lord laid on him the iniquity, singular. The iniquity is the producer of iniquities. There can be no iniquities without iniquity. There can be no sins, in plural, without sin, in singular. Isn't it? So, the Bible says God laid on him, what? The iniquity. He laid on him the sins, the products. He also laid on him the what? The iniquity, the producer. He hung on the cross with Mr. Iniquity so that you might be delivered from this tyrant. Do you understand that? What is the mission of Christ on earth? 1, to deal with sins. 2, to deal with the producer. To deal with Mr. Iniquity, Mr. Flesh, to deal with him, so that you might be relieved from his tyranny, so that he might not conquer you. You might not be a slave to sin. This must happen to you. Until this happens to you, you'll be sinning and explaining your sins. You'll be sinning and hiding. You'll be quietly living and a sinful behavior while you're preaching and teaching and working for God. You don't know release from a sinful life. Do you understand? Do you understand? If we had time, we would have gone to Romans chapter 6, where Romans chapter 6, the whole chapter elaborates on this issue of our sinful nature. Romans chapter 6. There's no time to go there. It teaches us in details what happened to the sinful nature. And verse 6 says, for we know that our sinful nature was crucified with him. Where? On the cross. Do you understand? So if your sinful nature has not been dealt with, the mission for which Christ has come to this earth has not been accomplished in your own life. Should I repeat that? If your sinful nature has not been dealt with, the mission for which Christ came to the earth has not been accomplished in your own life. Then number 3, I'll just mention 3 things. Why did Christ come to the earth? One, he came to deal with sins, the products of the sinful nature, isn't it? But he also came to deal with the sinful nature itself, the producer of sins. The producer of sins. That number 3, there are many verses I'll be referring to you which you have known, but you have never taken very seriously. John 10:10. John chapter 10, verse 10. This is the third mission of Christ to the earth. Maybe I will just end with it because of time. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I also have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. Why did Christ come to the earth? So that you might have life. The question is, whose life? His life. Did you have life before? We did have life, but it was a sinful one, isn't it? Okay? Now, here's the question. Did Christ come to bring his life as an addition to the sinful life? Are you sure? Oh, he did not come to give us his life as an addition to the wicked life that we had, the sinful life. Which means something must happen to the sinful life that we had. It must be evacuated, isn't it? And then that life must be replaced with whose life? Christ's life. So that as you are going up and down on earth, whose life are you carrying? When you speak, whom do you represent in the way you speak? Christ. Why? You are carrying his life, isn't it? So people are able to see Christ in you because they're carrying his life. Just like we said, the works of the flesh are manifest, isn't it? Once Mr. Flesh has been removed from you and Christ is your life, we could say, so that the life of Christ is what? Is manifest. Just like the life of the sinful nature was manifest. Now that the sinful nature has been removed from you, and now you've got Christ in you, who is going to manifest in your life? Christ's life. I have come so that you might have life. Whose life? Christ's life. And this life must be abundant. This life must be obvious. This life must be overflowing. When people touch you, they must touch the life of Christ. When people talk to you, they must sense Christ talking to them. I've come so that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Would it be right for me to ask you the question, is the life of Christ abounding in you? Is that a correct question? Is the life of Christ abounding in you? Or maybe to put it differently, which life is abounding in you? Is that a good question? Which life is abounding in you? If you have not been relieved of Mr. Flesh, which life will be abounding in you? Life of the flesh. But if Mr. Flesh has been replaced by Christ, now which life will be abounding? Christ's life. Matthew chapter 20, verse 28. I'll be giving you just two other scriptures, and then we shall pray together. Once I finish, I will ask Sister Yinga, Brother Alanda's wife, to come and just help us to pray. I'll ask her to do that once I finish. I said Matthew chapter 20, verse 28. Matthew 20, 28. I want you to note one little thing there, 20, 28. It says, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give. And to do what? To give his life. I really want just to underline that word. He says, and to give his life as a ransom for many. But I just want to focus on the words. Christ came to give his life. Huh? He came to give each one of us his life, so that we should be carrying the very life of Christ. And when we are carrying the life of Christ, to live a righteous life is not a struggle. Why is it not a struggle? Why? It's because it is not you living for Christ. Rather, it is Christ living his life in you. For many, many years you have struggled to live for Christ. And you have not succeeded, isn't it? But God never meant for you to live for Christ. Because he sent his Son, he came to give his life. So that the life we'll be carrying will be the life of Christ. Manifesting through whom? Through you. Isn't it? I don't know how to put it in English, but in Xhosa we put it funny, in a very funny way. In Xhosa we say, Samkele Ntintili. We say we have received salvation. But I want to submit to you, it is not just salvation we receive. It is the Savior himself. Samkele umuntu. There's a person that we receive into us, who comes and lives his life in us and through us. But I want to tell you that it is not possible for the life of Christ to coexist with the life of the sinful nature. Something must happen to the sinful nature. It must be evacuated. And that life must be replaced by the life of Christ. Finally, Colossians 2:3. Colossians 3, verse 3 and 4. Colossians 3, verses 3 and 4. The mission of Christ on earth. The mission of Christ on earth. Verse 3 says, for you died. Who died? Who is I? Self. For you died. You died. And your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Who must be your life if you are truly born again? Christ. It says, and Christ, who is your life. You are not living for Christ. Rather, Christ is your life. Christ is your life. And Christ, who is your life. Which means if you are truly born again, The sinful nature has been removed from you. And it has been replaced by the life of Christ. And now your life is Christ himself. And then you don't struggle to live a life that is righteous. While I call Sister Yinka to come and lead us in prayer, let me remind you, we are talking about the mission of Christ on earth. And this mission must be manifest in your own life. Number one, he came so that you might be saved from some of your sins. Or from all of your sins. So there is nothing that is common between a born-again person and sins. There's no commonality between them. So the Bible says, if you live in sins, you have not seen him, you don't know him. Number two, he came so that we might be relieved. He might destroy the producer of sins, Mr. Flesh himself. And then when that has happened, then Christ himself becomes your life.
This morning, we are going to stand on our feet and we are going to pray. Can we stand on our feet, please? And I want each person to talk to God for himself, not for another person. Not for somebody who is not here, not for somebody who is sitting beside you, but I want you to talk to God for yourself this morning. And the first thing I want us to talk to God about is to thank God for revealing his truth to us in this meeting. Do you agree that God has actually released his truth to us during this meeting? So can we close our eyes and talk to God and say, Father, thank you for opening my eyes to see the truth. You know, several of us have been born again for many years. And we have been struggling with sins. Even though we claim to be born again. Even though we claim to have accepted Jesus. And yet, sin has dominated our lives. But for the past 2-3 days, God has been gracious to us to show us the way out. Is it not? He has been gracious to show us the way out of struggle. He has opened our eyes to show us the truth of the word of God. He has opened our eyes to show us what it actually means to be born again. So this morning, first and foremost, I want you as a person to say, Father, I thank you for opening my eyes. Can you begin to pray this morning? Father, we are grateful unto you. Thank you for opening our eyes to see the truth of your word. Thank you for opening our eyes to see the meaning of being born again. Thank you for opening our eyes to showing us the way out of sin. Thank you for opening our eyes and showing us the truth of your word. Lord, the Bible says that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Thank you for showing us the way out. Thank you for showing us the way of deliverance. Father, this morning we are grateful unto you. Thank you for not leaving us struggling. Thank you that you have not left us to keep on struggling with the devil, but you have opened our eyes to know the way of deliverance. Father, this morning we are just grateful unto you. And we just want to bless your name for sending your word, for sending your word, for sending your word our way. Father, we are grateful unto you. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen. Now, even though during this meeting we have had several opportunities to cry to God, to say, God, deliver me from my sins. But this morning, do you know what is striking to me? The Bible says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So this morning again, we are saying that the reason why Jesus Christ came is to deliver us from all our sins. You know, as I sat down, one thing that came to my heart is that, you know, a scripture in Romans chapter 6 that says, so sin does not have a right to lord it over me again. Do you understand? If Jesus Christ came so that I can be delivered from my sins, so where does sin now have the power or the right or the authority to lord it over me? You know, there are times I've had people say, I didn't really want to think like that. I just found myself doing it. Even though I know that this telling lies is wrong, I know that committing fornication is wrong, and I didn't want to do it, but somehow it looked as if I was powerless. But this morning, we are seeing that you and I, we are not powerless. Why? Jesus Christ came just for that reason. Look at that scripture that we read in Matthew. The Bible said, you will give birth to a child. You will call his name Jesus for one reason. He will save his people from their sins. So this morning, I want you to address whatever sin, and I want you to be particular. You know, the sin that has been lording it over you may be different from that of your partner. It may be different from that of your husband or your wife. That particular sin, I want you to address it and say, lying, you have no right to lord it over me from now. Why? Jesus Christ was manifested. He was declared. He came to the earth just to deliver me from those sins. So this morning I want you to talk to those sins, no matter their number, whether it's anger, whether it's sins, telling lies, whether it's fornication, whatever it may be at all. I want you to talk to it. All those things that we saw yesterday, envy, jealousy, covetousness. You know, you just discover that you always want the best for yourself, just like we saw yesterday. You have identified your own. Talk to it and say, now I have seen, I've seen you. You don't have any power over me. You don't have a right to force me. You don't have a right to make me to do what I do not want to do. Why? Jesus Christ was declared and manifested to save me from you. Can you begin to pray now? Talk to that sin. Mention that sin. Say, you, from today, you have no right over me. Jesus Christ came to deliver me from you. Jesus Christ came to save me from your hand. Jesus Christ came to deliver me from your power. Your power over me has been broken. Your authority over me has been destroyed. Jesus Christ came for that particular purpose. Jesus Christ came to actually set me free. Jesus Christ came to deliver me from your hold. Jesus Christ came that I might be delivered from your power. You have no power over me again. Now I know the truth. Oh no, yes, now I know the truth. Now I know the truth. You have no right to lord it over me. You have no right to rule over me. You have no right to be king over me. You have no right to hold me down. I am free from you. I am free from your hand. I am free from your hold. I am free from your reign. I am free from your hold. Jesus Christ came to deliver me from your hold. Oh, Father, we just thank you this morning. Lord, we just bless your name this morning, because Jesus Christ came to deliver us from the hands of sin, because Jesus Christ came to deliver us from fornication, from anger, from envy, from jealousy, from greediness, from every form of covetousness. Jesus Christ came to deliver us from their hands. And this morning we go free. We go free from their hand. They have no right to hold us down. They have no power over us again. We are free from their hand. Oh, Father, we just thank you. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Just like we have heard from yesterday, we will not just look at this tree that is producing fruits and say, I don't want you again, and then we just bring down all the fruits. Will we be wise to do that? No. And thank God that Jesus Christ did not stop at just pulling down the fruits. He actually uprooted the tree. He actually uprooted the tree. He uprooted the producer of those things. Hallelujah. Are you seeing what I am saying? You know, we read a scripture in that Romans chapter 6 verse 6. The Bible says that our old self has been crucified with Christ. When was it crucified with Christ? The day that Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross. That producer of sins in your life was crucified with him. Hallelujah. Are you seeing it at all? We read that scripture. So it is not just those sins. You know, if it is just the sins alone that were dealt with, what will happen after some time? The tree will bring forth other fruits. But hallelujah to God. He did not just bring down the fruits. He dealt with the tree itself. He dealt with the producer. And the Bible says that Jesus Christ came. And as he died on the cross, my old man, my own old man, I don't know about yours, but my own sinful nature, that Mr. Flesh that used to produce those sinful fruits in my life, what happened to it? He died. He died. He was crucified with Christ. Is it not? So this morning, you are going to again address that Mr. Flesh and say, you Mr. Flesh, there was a time you used to be the one inside me. But what happened to that Mr. Flesh? What happened to it? What happened to it? So tell him and say, no, in me, as for me, you have been crucified. That Mr. Flesh that used to live in me, that Mr. Flesh that used to direct me and dictate to me what to do. Do you know, Mr. Flesh was the one that was dictating for you what to do. He was the one that was pushing you and dictating. He was the Lord. You see, in my own country, when you say you are born again, we say you have accepted Jesus as your Lord and your Savior. Not just our Savior alone, but as our Lord. Before now, Mr. Flesh was my Lord. Agree. But now I am saying, just like we saw this morning again, I am saying that Mr. Flesh, that old man, was crucified on the cross. So he has no right to be my Lord again. Isn't it? Can you address him and say, no, you have no right to be my Lord again. Now let us pray. Say, Mr. Flesh, I've seen you. I've seen the truth about you. You have no right to be Lord over me. You are no longer the Lord over my life. You have been crucified. You have been crucified. You have been killed. You have been destroyed. You have no right to be Lord over my life. Oh no, Mr. Flesh. No. You have no right to be Lord over my life. You have been crucified. You are crucified with Christ on the cross. You are killed. You are destroyed with Christ. You can no longer dictate my life. You can no longer direct my life. You can no longer tell me what to do. You can no longer tell me where to go. You can no longer tell me what to do and what not to do. Your power, your authority, your very self has been dealt with on the cross. Your very power, your very self has been crucified on the cross. You have no right to dictate to me any longer. You have no right. No, you are no longer living in me. You are not living in me any longer. You are dead. You are dead. You are dead. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Finally, what we saw this morning, we saw that even though that old man was crucified, Jesus Christ did not leave us empty like that. Do you understand it at all? That Jesus did not leave us empty. You know, there's a scripture that says that when you send out a demon and you leave the place empty, what will happen? That demon will go out and look for 7 stronger ones, and then they will come. But glory be to God, Jesus Christ did not leave us empty. After the old man was crucified on the cross, what happened? The Bible said he came again so that he might give us his life. He came that we might be filled with his life. You know that John 10:10 says that we might have life and have it abundantly. And have it plenty. And be filled with the life of God. And be filled with the life of Christ. So this morning you are going to now talk to God and say, God, now that my heart, my life, that old man has been removed, that old man has been crucified, dealt with, fill me with the life of Christ. God, come and fill me with the life of Christ. From today, let it be Jesus that will dictate to me what to do, where to go, what to eat, what to wear, day by day. Every day of my life, let the life of Jesus be manifested through me. Begin to talk to God now. Fill me with the life of God. Fill me to the brim. Fill me abundantly. Fill me abundantly. Jesus Christ came that we might have life and have it abundantly, and have it in full, not in half, not half, but that we might have the life of Christ abundantly, that the life of Christ might fill us. Can you talk to God this morning? Say, fill me with the life of Christ. Fill me with the life of Christ. From henceforth, let it be Jesus that will dictate what to do. Let it be Jesus that will lead me where to go. Let it be Jesus that will tell me what not to do. Let it be Jesus that will be the Lord over my life, the Lord of my life. Fill me with the life of Jesus. Fill me with the life of Christ abundantly. Fill me with the life of Christ, oh Lord. Fill me with the life of Christ on a daily basis. Let it be Jesus that will lead me. Let it be Jesus that will be the dictator of my life, dictating to me what to do, dictating to me where to go. Let it be Jesus. Fill me abundantly with the life of Christ. Let my life be filled with the life of Christ. Let my life be filled with the life of Christ. Let me be able to manifest the life of Christ on a daily basis, from minute to minute, from my work and at home, with my husband and with my children. Let the life of Christ manifest in me. Let the life of Christ begin to show forth in my life. Oh, Father, let the life of Christ begin to show forth in my life. In Jesus' name we have prayed. We are still going to pray. I want you to pray and say, when I am at home, let the life of Christ manifest through me. With my husband, with my children, with my relatives, let them from today begin to see that there is a difference in my life. Let them begin to touch Christ in me. Anytime they touch me, let them not see the old self there again. Let them touch Christ. When I get to work in my office, with my subordinates, with my superiors, when I get to the market, when I get to the supermarket, when I get to the bank, anywhere I find myself, let me manifest the life of Christ. Can you talk to God this morning? That my life will manifest the life of Christ. Whether I am dealing with my husband or with my children, whether I am dealing with disciples or I'm dealing with my discipler, whether I'm dealing with my relatives, wherever I find myself, whether I am in the marketplace or I'm in my office, let my life produce, let it manifest the life of Christ. Let the life of Christ manifest through me. Let the life of Christ manifest through me. From today, let there be a difference in my life. When men touch me, let them touch Christ. When men deal with me, let it be Christ that they will be dealing with. Let my life manifest the life of Christ. Let it bring forth all the fruits of the Spirit of the Lord. When men touch me, let them touch Christ. When men touch me, whether at home or in my office or wherever, let it be Christ that men will touch. Let them touch Christ through me. Let men touch Christ through me. Let men touch Christ through me. Let them know that there is a difference. There is a difference in my life from this meeting. In the name of the Lord Jesus. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Now we will pray together. Father, we are grateful unto you. Again this morning we are so grateful unto you for showing us the truth of your word. And thank you because your word says that we shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us free. Father, we are grateful unto you because your truth, the truth of your word that we have seen, is actually making us free. Free is giving us deliverance. That deliverance that we have sought for, now your word is giving us deliverance. And Lord, we are grateful unto you. Thank you, our Father. Lord, from today, we go forth as new people. From today, we go forth as separate from sin and from the producer of sin. From today, we go forth with the life of Christ manifesting through our lives. And as we go, whether at home, with our husbands, with our wives, with our children, in the office, in the marketplace, wherever we find ourselves, even in the society around us, there will be a difference. When men touch us, they will touch Christ in us, because we have seen and heard the truth. So Lord, we are grateful unto you. Thank you, our Father. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen. Amen.